Which Fortnite knockoff is the best one on Roblox? Let's start off with Strucid, because Strucid is the one game that people keep telling me to cover because I made a Roblox knockoff video and people were like, you forgot Strucid. And I'm here to tell you that no, I didn't forget Strucid, I just didn't include it. Because Strucid per se is not really so much of a Fortnite copy-paste, it's not a Fortnite knockoff, because all you really have in the game is just build battles, edit battles, and then just shooting. So if you're into pro Fortnite building gameplay, then yeah, I guess, you know, you have something that's remotely similar to it, but Strucid doesn't have a battle royale mode. The guns and the weapons, there's no looting aspect to them. You kind of just spawn in and they're already there. So it's more of a warm-up arena for people that might be interested in like the building mechanics, but we all know that Fortnite's not about building anymore, guys. No builds here. People play no builds. Even though they have some pretty cool looking and decent skins on the shop, the baseline character per se is kind of just ugly to look at. So Strucid and Strucid Chapter 1, which is the earlier version I played, and it's not really any better, even though people were saying that it was good. I put those under B tier. You know, it's a good game, but it's not really like the best Fortnite knockoff that's out there, you know? Alright, so now let's talk about a decent Fortnite knockoff. Let's talk about Roblox. I don't really understand why Roblox is so popular on Roblox. It has over 1,000 players, which is a lot more than what Strucid has, let me say that. And, well, when you look at the gameplay itself, it's pretty bland. Like, the building itself is pretty bland. The shootouts that you get are pretty bland as well. This game is very kid-friendly, right? It's very colorful, it's very bright, so maybe that's why people are so into it. Maybe that's why it has so many players. But for the most part, you know, you just start off in a little platform and you jump down with your little glider, and you can even stay with your glider equipped even after you've landed. But yeah, you start off with a gun, and then as you kill enemies, you get coins, and then use coins to unlock better guns, or to actually just buy cars. The game lets you spawn cars like if it was GTA, right? And then you just use your car to drive around. But like I mentioned, I guess you can tell this game has a lot more inspiration from Fortnite. The bringing your own avatars into the game, the leaderboards, the dancing, even though it's not like the best one in gameplay wise, you can't argue with the results that it has a pretty dedicated fan base, I guess. So Roblox as a whole, Roblox as a game, it's an easy S tier, unfortunately. Alright, so now to talk about my favorite Fortnite knockoff, which is Fortblocks. Now this one's obviously my favorite one because everything about this game just screams, I want to be Fortnite. From the lobby, to the locker room, to the battle pass, the challenges, everything about this game is just basically, hey, let's take whatever Fortnite is and let's just turn that into a Roblox-esque kind of game. You get the actual real Fortnite experience in Fortblocks, and that's why I actually love it so much. So not only do you have to drop in and go through the whole looting process of getting guns, you also have to get shields and health, you know, have to keep yourself pretty well stocked in the game. The map layout itself, even though you can tell it's completely original, you look at the color palette and you look at the way things are structured and you're like, oh, this kind of feels like Fortnite, right? So you eliminate players to collect V-Bucks and then use the V-Bucks to actually get some more cosmetics, and that's kind of what I like about the game, right? You don't unlock weapons, you basically just unlock cosmetics. And one thing I will say that is like the best selling point about any Fortnite knockoff game on Roblox, for some reason the attention span of the average Roblox player just isn't there. It's basically non-existent. So you have to go in and get into the game as quickly as possible, and as soon as you click play on Fortblocks, you're already in the game. You can already drop down to play. So that's something to look out for when you're looking for a good and successful Fortnite copy. So it's not so much about the gameplay, you have to make sure that you get into the game as quickly as possible so that way people don't get bored and leave. So Fortblocks as an experience, as a whole experience, from like the gameplay to the layout to like the locker and everything that it's trying to sell you as a Fortnite copy, this has got to be like the best one so far, right? So it is an easy S tier, like it's in the very tippy top of S tier. Alright, now to be extremely confused, there's a lot of Fortnite copies that are in a different language. I think it's Arabian because that's mostly what the results came up. And when you get into the game, they're basically just like Roblox, just like the map is a little bit more different. And instead of actually having to unlock all the weapons and spawning cars and all that stuff, you have all the weapons already unlocked and you can just go straight into shooting up. And you know, you have from rocket launchers to rail guns to like shotgun snipers, you have all the cool stuff already unlocked. So maybe that's why it's so popular. I don't know. There's like dozens, well, maybe not dozens. There's a couple of these games and they all have over like 300, 500 players on them. So it's just nonsense. It's just straight into the action, beautiful nonsense. And while it does have a couple of things here that's trying to sell you, like VIP, Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, a lucky box, so Arabian Fortnite, if that's what we're calling it, if that's what everyone else is calling it, I'd have to give it like an A tier because even though it's just like a battleground, it's still a pretty successful battleground. Like it's more popular than Strucid. Alright, so now for a legit Fortnite copy that has everything you can ask for in a knockoff, right? It has a building system that feels amazing. It has stamina. It has like different weapons that even though you start off with weapons in your inventory, you can always just loot for different weapons. But unfortunately, no one's just playing Island Royale, which is the game we're talking about. There's over 400 million visits in the game, so it used to be really popular at a certain point, but now it has less than 100 active players as of the time of me recording this video. So I don't really have an answer to that as to why the game died off, but I can point out a couple of things that, you know, kind of just turned me off from the game per se, right? Because even though it has basically everything everything going for it. It has a bunch of different game modes, and if you're trying to find a quick match and you just want to get into the game as quickly as possible, there's a lot of different options, right? And if I'm just like a little kid and I'm just trying to play something like Fortnite, I go in here, I'm just instantly overwhelmed by the options. I'm like, well, where are my friends playing? I don't really know. And I guess another point of contention against this game is that the game's very good at what it does. It's a very good Fortnite copy, and I think that's part of the reason why it spells the doom for it, because when you have something that's so good at being its own unique builder battle royale game, why don't you just play the better version? Why don't you just play Fortnite instead? So unfortunately, I think that's what spelled the entire doom for Island Royale. But as a Fortnite knockoff in itself, this game can easily be S tier, but because no one's playing it and, well, it's kind of like a dead game at this point, we might as well just leave it in C tier, which is the same thing that's going to happen with the next game that we're going to talk about, which is Athena Royale. Now, this game tried being Fortnite down to a T. They tried basically taking all the assets that they could from the original Fortnite and just sticking it into their own game, and that's kind of like the novelty of it, right? It's not like, hey, we're trying to be the best battle royale that's out there. They just tried like, hey, we put the whole ass Fortnite into Roblox, and that's what we did. Look at this. And that's basically what got people excited to play the game. But as soon as that novelty wears off, they just realize that having the whole Fortnite map, having the lobby, and then like the waiting room before you get into the battle bus, and then just like a ginormous and highly accurate map to Fortnite with nobody to fight, because you're basically just walking around looking for like anybody to fight. So unfortunately, this game committed every single cardinal sin of a failure of a knockoff on Roblox. And like I mentioned, this game is highly accurate to the original Fortnite, but why would you want to play Athena Royale when you can just play the actual Fortnite, which has everything that this game has and a lot more, and it's free? So Athena Royale, like I mentioned, unfortunate C tier. It is the best Fortnite knockoff that we've seen so far, but it's not good in terms of reception. So Athena Battle Royale was a literal asset flip, everyone could see that, but Roblox Battle Royale, though, is a weird mix between PUBG and Fortnite because, okay, look, I never played PUBG, but I know there's a plane, and I know that there's vehicles that look pretty like PUBG-ish, but the game is also very Fortnite-ish, right? The map is huge, which I think is also a big killer for it. It has a waiting period, and it has a lobby, you know, all those cardinal sins that we hate about these Roblox knockoffs, but the gameplay, you know, is actually kind of fun. I actually got the chance to get into a game with like 11 players, and that was a, whoa, we actually did that, because the game is basically super dead at this point, right? Nobody's playing it for obvious reasons, and, you know, it's kind of weird because the game actually feels fun, and the fact that you can just bring your own avatars into the game just makes it, you know, really wacky and kooky looking, and, you know, it's something that I personally like. So it's one of those games that I did have a lot of fun playing. The cars that you can drive around are really cool. The weapons were very typical for Battle Royale-ish kind of weapons, but like I mentioned, it's very dead. So for execution and everything else, we'll just give it a C tier, unfortunately. There's a lot of C tiers in this tier list, I'm noticing. And lastly, we have to talk about the best knockoff game that I saved for this tier list, which is a knockoff of a knockoff. That now we're not talking about a Fortnite Battle Royale knockoff, now we're talking about Fortblox Obby. It's an obstacle course, because that's what obbies are on Roblox, but it's made using flipped assets from Fortblox. You're not even playing a Battle Royale anymore, you're getting into a game that has assets from a Fortnite knockoff, but now you're using it in its own original Robloxian theme, which is like the obstacle course obby, you know, genre in Roblox. So in my opinion, this one's honestly like the best one, and of course, after playing it, I had to get all the way to the end, which I did, by the way, and after getting all the way to the end and experiencing it, I was like, wow, this really is the best Fortnite knockoff that I've ever played in my life. So Fortblox Obby, the greatest knockoff of our time. Easy S tier, of course, there's no arguing about it, but this is the whole tier list, guys. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.